the distance, you hear a bell ring midnight. And you hear a knock on the door.
Yeah, here they are.
Oh, it's nice knowing you all. Good times.
I'll go over to the door and answer it.
As you open the door, you see a group of 3 guards. And one of them takes a small bow and simply states, "ThreeHawk waits."
Thank you. We'll come.
Okay.
And they step to the side.
So I guess more than an hour has passed since I cast invisibility because she
no
doesn't
way.
know otherwise how to turn back to normal. So okay, so she's visible again.
Okay. Rakesh will just walk out the house.
I'll go too.
Okay.
Yep, let's go.
Let's do this.
The 3 guards lead you directly towards the inner ring. They walk at a brisk pace, stopping for no one. There's a few guards on the streets, and as the 3 guards pass, they simply acknowledge them, and you move past. You then
The fucking Colosseum.
come to a halt,
Oh god, we're going
and you stand directly in front of the Needle of Compass, the large arena that dominates the very center of the city. The guards step to the side and motion towards the arena.
Trial by combat.
Oh no.
That'll be funny.
Oh,
That'll be
Valid.
Oh god.
Do you step towards the arena?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You step towards the arena and you notice another guard standing inside one of the many openings, and he holds out his hands as if to motion you through.
Okay.
You enter the darkness for a few moments as you walk through this stone hallway, and it opens up to the fighting floor. In the very middle stands a lone table with a single figure behind it.
Marius.
It's a large, slender man, and he beckons you to come towards him.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I was so expecting Marius to be the leader of fucking ThreeHawk.
We would.
Okay.
would win.
Things a lot easier.
Yeah. No, okay, it's fine. Okay. What's gonna happen next?
Around
Greetings.
the turnip man.
Oh.
Cassandra, Sparkflight, Varian, Drakazan, Jetsam, Rakesh and Serenity, Siladan,
Yeah.
and vouching for you, Marius Halfdan. Your commitment to ThreeHawk is in question, as you know. I stand before you as accuser, your jury. He holds out his hands to the sides, to the stands, and you see that there's quite a few people sitting there in the shadows. Most of them having cowls drawn over their heads. Your judges, by tradition, 3 members of ThreeHawk. He holds out his hand again and points behind him. Far, far at the top of the stands sit 3 more people, all cowled. They turn their heads to one another and they whisper something unintelligible. You also see that they are surrounded by quite a few guards. Should you fail today to convince them of your innocence, you shall be ejected from the ranks of ThreeHawk and permitted to leave the city before bounties may or may not be posted. Marius, your vouching carries weight, but many of your peers are beginning to think your softness might cloud your judgment. You see Marius clench his jaw, but he otherwise remains silent. You stand accused of the murder of Vilad Tokar and conspiring against ThreeHawk. Why did you kill him?
We didn't.
Yeah,
And who did?
Lieutenant.
Carolyn. Carolyn.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's good. I just had to laugh because earlier.
That is quite the serious accusation to throw at a city guard,
Mm.
one so high in standing. Do you have any proof of the matter?
Turn to Varian. He has the black stripe, right?
I'll pull out the bullet. Hand it over if I have to. I don't know if he wants me to hand it over, show it to him.
You put the black stripe bullet on the table, and your accuser studies it for a moment. And this is
Some kind of bullet that can nullify magic.
It was the bullet shot from the gun that killed. I can't pronounce his name. Please do it for me.
Bullet something or other.
Vilat Tokar.
Vilat Tukar.
Oh, that's a very different name.
Yeah.
No, let me just.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do this every time there's a name now.
Vilat Tukar.
Vlad Draco.
He takes the bullet, holds it high above his head, turns around towards the three judges for a moment, and puts it back down on the table. On the night of the murder, why were you there?
ThreeHawk to in detail of some kind. This individual.
Yes, we had a job to protect
There was
him.
no mission posted that night.
Really? Because that's what we were told.
By?
Yeah.
We were told to
Oh,
meet
where were the-
Omarion.
Marion told us that we were told to meet him.
And where is Omarion now?
And
Well, he's at the bottom of the ocean. We found that out. They're searching for. In fact, the guards are currently searching for his body as they want to cover up, what they did.
As you mentioned that you see someone in the stands stand up and leave.
I'll watch
Where have you
them.
been since the murder, and why have you not contacted ThreeHawk?
we were captured by the Iron Republic and imprisoned on a ship by them until it on the edge of an Iron Republic city. And then since then we moved immediately from there to Compass.
To find you.
Captured
Radical.
where?
We were captured.
At the docks where Omarion was supposed to meet us. Instead,
Yes.
there was a ton of Iron Republic soldiers, which, by the way, that bullet is
IR property.
only produced by the Iron Republic for high-end assassins and upper military members.
And there's no witness to those dogs aside from Omarion once more.
The only witnesses are ourselves.
Varian, your father has been known to have worked with the Iron Republic in the past.
Mm.
What connections do you have to the Iron Republic?
I was raised there. That's about it.
You claim to have no contact with the Iron Republic. You have never worked for the Iron Republic.
Not unless they hired me to. The Iron Republic isn't really big on thieves. No.
Rakesh,
I don't
Serenity.
help them.
Yeah!
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
What did you do?
Well, to
Yes.
cloud your past, But were you not taught by the Iron Republic? Were you not at their academies like so many of their soldiers, spies, agents?
Cress looks at them very suspiciously.
Tyrion looks at them. He, like, his face is neutral, but his eyes are so angry.
I look at Serenity.
I look back at you.
We were.
Mhm.
Does that not make you suspicious?
Sure, but
And he looks at the rest of you, actually.
It kind of
It
does.
appears that many of you have had prior connections to the Iron Republic. And you were on the scene as the Iron Republic murdered one of ThreeHawk's close friends.
okay, let me get this straight. You think because we had connections to the Iron Republic that we murdered someone and betrayed ThreeHawk? Do you even understand what our connections to the Iron Republic are? How we all left the Iron Republic? Do you really think we would want to go back, any of us?
There are many ways the Iron Republic clouds their members'
Honestly, the
past.
Iron Republic could burn, and I'd be happy.
Who else would be a better spy than someone scorned by the Iron Republic?
Truthfully, the Iron Republic could burn to the fucking ground, and I'd celebrate.
Trust me, buddy, they believe we're dead.
Mhm.
He, at the mention of that, he gives you a weak smile. We could find very little about your past, Cassandra, and Jetsam. This makes you wild cards. Perhaps you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or perhaps you too have connections that we're unaware of. We also have information from an informant that you were involved in the prison break a day ago.
Sarah fucking told you. Did she tell you that she's the one that hired us to do that? And that she brought Iron Republic guards there?
Another serious accusation.
It's true.
Yeah,
We had
it
to
is true.
disguise ourselves out of the way in order to escape them.
Mhm.
Why did you break into that prison?
One of us went. One of us was kidnapped. And we had good information that that's where they were. Go behind.
We have no record that shows any of this.
Yes,
It was kind
because
of a
it
last
wasn't-
minute thing.
It really wasn't expected. I can explain
So
it
you
to you if
went
you
into
like.
that prison, opened all of the cells, and left?
Not all of them.
There were a
Not
lot
all
of
them.
demons.
We opened a majority of them in order to distract the Warforged. And then
Honestly,
we left.
didn't expect them to get out.
And you did not have anything to do with the escape of Black Tarak.
I mean,
I mean, that's what she wanted us to do, right?
yeah, did she tell you that's the person she originally approached us? Well, originally hired us, I suppose, to get out?
That was the job.
That was
Someone
the job.
hired you? I thought you were going there
Aravel
because of a
hired us.
kidnapping.
Aravel.
Aravel tried to hire us to break into Last Hall to break out Black Tarok, and then our friend went missing and ended up there.
So it was just two birds with one stone.
That friend was me. I ended up there.
It was.
It certainly was.
Do you have any additional information?
Do you know a guy named Cromwell?
Yes, Lieutenant Cromwell.
And I'm gonna tell him the whole story that happened there.
Ah,
We have heard of Cromwell's death from Lieutenant
Not the
Carillon,
whole, not
claiming
like not
to
the
be a traitor.
details, but what he said and the demon he summoned and stuff like that.
I mean, Lieutenant Carrot
The Cromwell.
Kirillin is really not
Krillin-
trustworthy.
that also was the one that told us to do that.
Do you have any proof to this accusation?
So we don't have proof. Why do you think she would give us proof?
I told you we needed to find physical evidence.
Do you have any other information? This, if you claim if this was a setup, why would the traitor allow you to come back to Compass unhindered?
I don't think they planned on it.
Yeah, I don't either. They
I'm
tried pretty hard to
sure.
kill us.
The only reason we got out is, well, because the
Who
ship
tried to
set
kill
on
you?
fire.
Wait, did we talk to Marius about the assassins ThreeHawk sent to kill us?
Oh yes, you
Oh,
know,
right.
you guys sent assassins to kill us.
We can assure you that without a trial, ThreeHawk would not have such any of these
Well,
things.
we were sent. So, we were on a boat heading here in order to see you. And while we were there, we were attacked by pirates. And the pirates, after we defeated them and asked them for information, told us that they had been sent by you
ThreeHawk.
and that they had been hired by ThreeHawk.
Do you have the name of the ship?
Oh, I think I do. Give me a second.
We do because that's in a different spiral.
Shall we drop the name Storm's Edge here?
Drop these.
Fuck, guys.
I don't have the name of the boat, but I have the name of the captain and the people that were on it.
Go ahead.
So, the man that I interrogated was named Rogist, and he was very, very loyal to a man named Dermont, or a person named Dermont, apparently a captain. They were meant to take us alive. If they couldn't take us alive, they were to kill us, but they were told to take us alive.
They didn't try to kill us.
They did try to kill us. Their meeting point was a canyon in Raiders Cairn, and although I didn't get much information, I also got the name Storm Sage. I've heard that Black Terak is a lieutenant for Storm Sage. But these are all...
So you have heard about Black Carrot before, and you met him in prison.
We heard about him from Aravel, who asked us to get him out of prison. Then, when
So
we
you
broke
have talked to him.
like a sentence.
Very briefly. We said a sentence.
Honestly, he mostly just attacked me.
Yeah, he basically
Yes.
just told
Does
us
Varian
if
still
we
have
ever.
like bruising and shit around his neck from like when he was like choked out by a
Choked.
tentacle?
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of bruising.
That's true.
Not yet. The guy just basically told us if we ever meet again, he's probably gonna kill us. So that
Yes,
was
he
not
did
much
say
of
that.
not much of a conversation there.
You're telling me you survived a hostile encounter with Black Tarak.
We didn't survive it. He let us go.
He probably just let us live because we got him out of there.
Wait, he was friends or whatever with the person who was murdered. Also, like a weird magic ghost projection in their house that, of course, can't be recreated. That told us a lot about the whole them being murdered by the Iron Republic for a very specific reason.
I love this sub-sentence of that of course can't be recreated.
I know you have not a lot of proof, but honestly, if you take
Something.
Kirillin and you make her tell you everything, or you let me delve into her mind, I can get everything, and I'm sure other people that you know, like me, can get everything that you want from her.
The accusation has no more questions,
All right.
and all of a sudden you see a few people that were up in the stands slowly leave. Behind you, a few guards approach.
Mm.
One of them, again, makes a curt bow in your direction, in the direction of the accuser. The trial is over. ThreeHawk would like to speak to you personally. Marius, you may return to your duties. Marius looks at you for a moment, but he does not move. Do you follow the guards?
Not like we have
Yes.
much choice.
I'm following them. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You are being led out of the arena. The streets are completely empty. You're being led
Fine.
towards one of the towers of council, surprisingly. The tower that was once the tower of the Master of Industry. The tower is made of hewn stone similar to the inner wall. It is large and it is mostly empty. You're being led up a large staircase, 2 flights of stairs to be exact, and you stand before a double door. The guard knocks twice and waits. The door slowly swings open, and the room beyond is lit by a crackling fireplace. A large table of wood stands there on a raised platform next to a few bookcases. 3 figures stand in that room, and they turn to look at you. You recognize all of them. Sitting in the shadow to the right, a hulking frame. The Warforged there looks at you, unmoving. Not just any Warforged, you've seen this Warforged before. The Master of Industry has been at the docks a few times. The figure in the middle smiles as he welcomes you with open arms. The Master of Commerce always smiles like this, especially when closing a deal. And lastly, lounging in a padded chair near the fireplace, a glass of clear liquor in her hand,
Oh.
eyeing you curiously, sits the Master of the Guard. You stand before ThreeHawk, who you now realize are 3 of the 5 Masters of Compass.
Hello.
Can't breathe.
Oh boy.
Gentlemen, ladies, welcome to the Tower of Industry. He looks around. Doesn't see much use anymore. But you're wondering why you're here. Well, first of all, and he walks up the platform behind the table and pulls out
I'm not actually wondering.
I don't know
a
what's going on.
piece of paper and a pen.
Oh.
This is a binding contract, nifty thing. I need you to sign it. And the pen on the
Kind of
ground.
like raises a brow at him and he's like, "Of what?"
Go ahead and read it.
I'm gonna go right up and I'm gonna read it.
While to many of our closer associates, our identity is very well known, anything you hear or say in this room should not leave it.
Oh, so it's a disclosure agreement. Can I put my hand out
Should
for the
you-
contract?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can read it carefully as well. And you'll
I'm
notice
going to.
that the paper it is on is ancient. You don't even need to try and detect magic to know that it is magical.
Yes.
Should you be interrogated or otherwise probed for information, anything you learn in this room will not be revealed unless you yourself choose to. And then we'll know.
And what happens when you know?
The usual consequences of betraying ThreeHawk. As I'm sure you've had a lot of thoughts about these past few days. My apologies for that.
Right. Does any of it seem sketchy?
It's pretty straightforward. This contract will bind every one of you to not disclose the identity of the ThreeHawks and any and all information that is shared within these walls.
Aaron still hasn't moved from the doorway.
Okay.
Master of
He's
Commerce
just standing by there.
waits and looks at the
And Rakesh, what does it say?
contract.
Yeah, it's just, legal jargon, blah, blah, blah. Don't disclose anything, blah, blah, blah.
Legal
There's...
jargon, blah blah blah, has gotten a lot of people killed. Take it
No,
more
believe
seriously.
me, I am taking it seriously.
So
This is not... I mean, literally, just don't say anything that we said to anyone else in this room.
I mean, sounds fair to me.
I mean, it is. Varian, come sign this.
Fucking tell me what to do.
No, get over yourself.
Like
and
the
get over
teenager.
No.
No, Dad, don't tell
you,
me what to
Rakesh,
do.
specifically, don't tell me what to do.
Here. Ugh.
Aaron's gonna read it over. What exact, is there anything shady that Varian might notice?
The actual contract
Criminally, that there's,
is
really
only
weird stuff?
a few lines long. It essentially states that you will not share any of this information willingly. Should you do so, the other members of this contract will immediately know. The contract is laden with magic that will always also protect you weakly against mental intrusions such as interrogation. However, should you willingly choose to pass along the information in question, the other members will know.
What counts as information discussed in this room? If it's stuff we've learned before that doesn't involve your identities, are we no longer allowed to talk about that?
Baron, it says in the contract anything that is discussed in this room.
Yeah, is that broad topics or just what's said in the room?
Specifically, it includes anything we tell you.
Anything that's new, you mean?
You tell us information you've learned outside of here. It will not be part of this contract. At least that's what I've been told. You must understand, I'm a merchant at heart. I am not too familiar with the magical jargon.
You think I'm being so cautious? I don't imagine we have much choice either.
I would hope not.
And shakes his head angrily and signs the fucking...
What about Grizzly? I've noticed that.
Do we have to sign it in blood or something? I don't
If
know
the
how
others
this works.
sign it, he will
Press?
sign it too.
Fuck.
That would be fun.
He just smiles at you as he says it, as you say it, and moves the pen with the regular ink pot a little closer to you.
You know, this magic stuff is just very new to me, and I just sign it.
Does Grizzly sign the contract?
Yes, if everyone else signs it too, he will.
Has everyone signed the contract?
What if we sign it with just some random name?
Don't fucking know.
Do you want to sign with just some
No,
random name?
I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah, that's a good question. If I sign it as Grizzly, does it count?
That's a good question.
Well, do you want to do it?
You just have to go through every fucking identity you have.
She just keeps on signing and signing and signing.
Looks like the fucking Declaration of Independence by the end. Just like 50,000 names.
Just sign it on the back. There's enough space.
So I just signed it with my real name, but in the meantime, I just asked them, what if this wasn't my real name?
I believe the contract does not operate on the name alone.
I thought so.
It's magic. It's going to affect your entire being once you put the pen to paper. I sign.
Do I feel a certain wind coming from the from the paper?
No, you do not. However, you feel a slight wind from Serenity.
Okay, that's
You're
nothing
Grown
new.
accustomed to it by now.
Mm-hmm.
fucking windy girl.
Thanks. I'll sign it, but I'll look at Rakesh for help with spelling.
Okay, I help her spell her name.
I don't really know the last name.
I'll like hold her hand and like sign it with her.
She just makes
I'll
3
sign the last
crosses.
name with her because she doesn't know how to spell it.
I only learned it today.
It's technically in Infernal anyway. In Infernal anyway. So
That's true.
Once everyone has finished signing the contract, the Master of Commerce rolls it up, seals it with a wax seal, and puts it in one of the drawers of the desk. So, the real reason you're here. You already know there's a traitor in ThreeHawk. It reaches high. That's about all we have found so far.
How high?
High
And I
enough
look at the 3 of
Could
them.
be any of the 3 of us.
Okay.
We are all aware of the implications. Aravel, as you've pointed out, appears to be working with the Iron Republic. Should you want to pursue it yourself, her bounty has been posted. It'll be public to ThreeHawk tomorrow. Do you have any other leads? You said you were attacked by some assassin. Our reports do confirm that the Lightning Hound was found drift on some shore beach somewhere. I assume you have left the ship largely intact.
yes.
What ship? The ship that. Wait, out of character, what ship is this?
That
The one
attacked
that
her.
We're
attacked you.
attacked on.
You mean the one that was on fire?
Yeah, you just tell them yes.
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 Aaron doesn't answer.
So,
Well, there's
our
Carolyn.
best lead leads us to the Lightning Hound, a ship in the service of, as you apparently have found out on your own, the Storm Sage Dermont. If that is our only lead, and I would hope we find something easier soon, it would put us up against the Black Crew, Tarak's elites. Now that Tarak has escaped as well, it will unite them once more. The Storm Sage's fleet is large, and we're going against a large organization.
Hey, I don't think the. I think you got it twisted. I don't think the Storm Sage are directly responsible for this.
But
I
you
think it
say
was a
one of his
job.
men was.
Job. They probably got hired by someone in the IR. Working with the IR.
Storm Sage's organization does not take jobs so easily. nor do they work ever with the Iron Republic.
Worse. Great.
Oh, by the way, did we tell them that the Iron Republic is maybe gonna take over Compass soon?
Oh yeah, that as well.
All right, yes.
I thought you told them that in the chamber. LMAO.
I wasn't sure if we told them or not, but I guess.
Arian would have told them, like, straight
Yeah.
up. It would have been like even if like we hadn't said it there, Arian would be like,
Just
well,
so they know.
speaking of the Iron Republic, they're coming for Compass. And they got metal ships. It's not gonna be good.
At that moment, the Master of the Guard stands up. The Iron Republic has been trying for years to take our Compass, and we've constantly been working against it. Hence the urgency of this trial.
Oh, well, now I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure the
IR
Iron
has
Republic has just.
Yeah,
good
just
bounties on a few of you.
What?
He knew this.
They are already
Yep.
in the press, as you would say. Your bounties will not be enforced within the walls of Compass, but outside, be sure you'll be fair game.
You don't happen to know how much those bounties are for?
I do not know the details. I can have your new handler send you copies in the morning.
Please.
it's like One Piece. Who's gonna have the highest bounty?
Does anyone know if they're for dead or alive?
What do you think?
You don't know the Iron Republic. Like,
Take a fucking guess.
The alive ones are usually worse than the dead ones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly, if the IR gets you, just end it.
You should stay in Compass for the next few days. Gather your strength and supplies. If the Storm Sage is our only lead, you'll have a lot of work ahead of you. Otherwise, we will continue looking for leads.
Out of character, do we want to tell them about Godfall?
I'm not. If
What about the
you
rest of you?
would.
Players, aside from Layla, what do you think?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking about asking them about Soulfire and stuff.
If Rakesh doesn't say it, Serenity won't.
Yeah, maybe let's just keep that to ourselves for now.
Your character would then do.
As of now, you are returned to the ranks of ThreeHawk. The other members of ThreeHawk will be informed of such. The details of the trial will not be discussed outside of here. There's a few things I'm sure you can take care of in Compass if you choose to wait for our information. I'm sure the Master of Labor has a few favors you can do for him. If I were you, I would steer clear of the Master of Law. He's a stiff man. And if the Master of Law asks you for any help around his slave market, do me a favor and don't. You see a slight disgust in his words as he says this. Sunday and Varian, from the corner of one of the bookshelves, you didn't even really notice that she was there when you entered the room. Walks out one of your old friends. She immediately walks up to you and gives you a short hug.
Give her a smile and hug her
Very-
back. Right?
It's good to see you alive.
It's good to be alive. Of course, I didn't notice you there.
Sendai will be your new handler for the moment. Any information you have about the situation, do not disclose to any member of ThreeHawk. Let Sendai know and she will arrange a meeting for us to meet again.
Real quick. You don't happen to know anything about the random explosions of certain cities, do you?
The random
Yeah, so
You mean, well, we have had the reports of a city near the King's Gate
Yep.
yeah.
vanishing overnight,
Oh,
and
What?
terrorist attacks in somewhere in the Avalon Sea. I'm not too sure. Reports intermingle.
It was close to Acor.
Have there been any other cities that were attacked, or just those two?
There's been moves. A few cities have been hit by large storms, which we believe are the work of the Storm Sage. And the Sun Court has made their presence clear in the Avalon Sea. As I hear it, Fallen Hearth is a battlefield once again.
The world's falling apart.
You can see that Cress's gaze turns grim.
It appears the Cold War is heating up again.
Do you know about Storm Sage?
Storm Sage. He's... you could almost call him a king, I suppose. He has enough people to counter such.
Vermont?
Yes, Dermond is his name. Dermond Helven, I believe. He's been around for a long time. He was a very decorated captain within the Iron Republic before his desertion, I hear. He's been building his forces ever since. A lot of pirates just still seem to want structure and organization. Some of them work for us, and most of them work for him, I suppose.
Anything about...
The way I hear it, he's a charismatic man.
What about his powers? You said there were storms and he might have caused them.
Well, it's a bit of a thing of mystery, actually. People say there's a connection to him and these storms that devastate some of the cities on the coast. There's been reports of him appearing somewhere on a coast, just, on the harbors, walking around, and a few days later, almost always, a large storm hits the shore. After that, a few of his pirate ships show up and take whatever's left. These storms, you see, they devastate the cities. It's not hard to rob a city that is already devastated.
he be...
He's never been to
into?
Compass. You'll have a hard time breaching these walls.
Oh, but if someone were to theoretically come across him, can he be spoken to, or is he immediately hostile?
I'm afraid we don't have that much information. I suppose it depends on how you approach him, perhaps.
So, have you ever heard about something called Soulfire? Black Telic mentioned it.
So you did speak with Black Tarek.
Yeah, shortly. I mean, we got him out of there. And he attacked us afterwards.
Soulfire. Well, not a magical expert, maybe and all of a sudden the large warforged in the corner begins to move.
Oh boy.
Setting a soul aflame
Oh.
will produce such fire. It's nothing extraordinary. It's just an expression of energy, you could say.
Do you know
I've worked on a theory once to fuel an engine with soulfire. Does not really work.
Do you know if it has anything to do with this new drug they call the red powder that's a thing right now?
An interesting theory. The Master of Labor has more problems with that than I do. I have not looked into that matter on my own.
Varian, do you want to know if they know something about your father? Sounds like a no.
Do I? Yes, but that would involve a lot more questions, I think.
Yes, but isn't that better than just being unsure?
No, I never asked for these answers.
Okay. It's your thing, I guess.
Guess I'll... One question, I suppose. Doesn't fucking matter.
They look at you expectantly.
It's personal shit, it doesn't matter. The guy or whatever supposedly knew my father, but questions I could ask about that if you did know anything, so.
Well, delving into your respective pasts, we can have the report sent to you, I suppose, now that the trial is over. You'll receive a copy in, I assume, the morning, perhaps?
A report?
Yes, a
On
report
us?
on your pasts,
You see,
if you requested.
Ash kind of furrows his brow at this and then looks at Serenity and then looks down again.
Maybe that would be helpful. Says looking at them.
Yeah.
Makes a note on a...
I would be interested too.
It'd be a big deal, right?
If you're sending that out, I would like to see some things that you have, just for my own benefit.
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand.
Yeah, please don't give it to them.
Are you saying there are still worse things to find out than you working for the Iron
There
Republic?
absolutely are, and you do not want to know them.
If you
And
do
he
not
looks
want
at you
to
directly in the
report,
eye.
then we'll not send you your
So
report.
much for about no secrets.
Did you... Baron just looks at Crest and is like, did you honestly believe?
No,
more
but
secrets?
I didn't think it would be this bad.
Send us... If you could send me my report at least, that'd be
Should be
nice.
expected.
I'd be happy with mine
Marion
too.
just glares at Serenity.
I just
I
wanna.
would like mine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very well.
Serenity, are you sure you want that? I'm sure you don't.
We
Oh, I'm
find
sure
any-
you-
No, you definitely
She
don't.
said that
You-
she
I would
wanted
like
it.
my report.
You really don't. You don't trust me. You really.
I would
Not
like
the
my
catch.
report.
She made her decision.
If we find any more leads, Sandai will let you know. If you find any you actively pursue, let Sandai know as well.
Marion looks kind of worried, and he's like,
Apart from that, logistically, do you need a new safe house?
considering Areville knows where mine is, and she has the Iron Republic after us, that might.
Question actually about safe houses. Also, if everyone else is getting theirs, I want mine. Anyway, question. When I came back here, mine was raided.
Ah, yes, Geneva's old place, was it?
Yes.
I suppose we could send you a report of that as well.
That would be great. Thank you.
Do you assume your safe house is otherwise compromised?
Apart from it being raided, no.
From the skeletons in the closet.
Excuse
Very
me.
well.
Fucking Harry.
If you do need a new safe house in case, let Sendai know. She has a location she can take you.
Okay.
Other than that, you unless you have any further urgent questions, you may leave. We have further things to discuss.
Thank you for the meeting.
Yes, thank you for your hospitality. We'll head out.
Thank you.
I'm gonna speed walk this way.
I'll go after him.
Okay. The door swings open as you leave.
Oh. Baron's, I guess, walking with Sandai because friend who he trusts, unlike some people.
Sendai follows you outside.
It's fair. Looking at Cress and Jet, and Sandai goes, "So, what's the plan?"
I think
I have no idea.
we were just talking about going after some certain person that sent us to a certain prison to bust a certain someone out of there. To see if she knows more.
There's one thing people in this trade know how to do, it's keep their mouths shut.
Are you talking about Erevar?
Yes.
Well, she's been guarded, I suppose. I think she knows her cover is blown. It was her who, I think, gave information to the Iron Republic about the few of you who have bounties.
Yeah.
Is there any one of us who doesn't have a bounty yet?
Cress and Jet.
I haven't seen the bounties.
I don't know, maybe we should just take a night to cover.
I would assume that is a good idea.
Where I mean, get really.
I'd assume you've had a stressful day.
You could say that for sure. Actually, it's been fucking hell for the past few days. Completely honestly.
Let's take a good sleep.
So you return to your safe house, I would assume.
Yes.